Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Justin Lemmy.
I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
Wow, that was weird.
Hey,
Out of order.
Out of order. I mean, we never do that, but that was
You got
kind
to
of cool,
change it
actually.
up once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, because then
Every week we should change it up.
all right. So next week you've got it, Shawn.
Yep.
Right.
All right.
Let's do it.
That's-
How you
yeah.
guys doing, man?
Good. It's good to see you. I know you had a busy week. Shawn just got back from vacation, like what,
Glamping.
No, we were not glamping this time. It was 10 days in the Upper Peninsula. It was not glamping. There were cabins,
right?
but
Okay.
it was a very limited technology.
Well, do tell. Do tell.
Yeah.
How did it go?
It was great. So this is the same trip. We've talked about this trip before because we go to the same place every year. It's my wife's family's cabins that they rent.
So they're
every
from
year.
Upper.
Her wife's from Escanaba, Michigan, which is part of the Upper Peninsula. And so they rent out all the cabins of a resort called Sunset Pines in Curtis, Michigan. There's about 65 people that come to this. So it's all
Wow.
her extended family. It's her dad's side of the family. He has 7 siblings. It's a big family. But it's in a rural part of northern Michigan. So it's 1 bar of cell phone service if you're lucky.
Oh, man.
And
It's got to be hell for you.
the owners do have a Starlink, but it's not accessible to people that come and stay there. You can use the HughesNet, which is like garbage satellite internet.
Wait, so the owners of this place, they make a point of letting everybody know, yeah, we got Starlink, but you can't use it.
I mean, it's even Starlink if you try to distribute it across. I mean, you'd have to add a bunch of mesh networks. It'd be not super easy to do, but it costs money to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you only get Starlink. You only get a limited amount of bandwidth. You know,
Yeah.
like you sign up for tiers of bandwidth, and if you got what'd you say, 65 cabins up there? I mean,
No, it's 12 cabins, but 65 people.
Oh, sorry. So okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
65 people each with their
Yeah.
own device.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna eat up your bandwidth real quick.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure they could charge for it, but it's the whole point is to not be connected on this trip, right? So it's
Mhm.
you're going fishing, you're on the beach,
Wait, are you telling me that you can actually go somewhere and not be connected to the internet?
yeah.
How do you do that?
Whoa,
It's-
I
it's
never
fan-
knew
it's-
that.
It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, I gotta try that.
I wonder
sometime.
how many of our listeners would ever attempt that. I mean, that means, you have to have your smartphone with you, right? I mean, you take that technology, but how do you say, okay, I'm not going to take this, I'm not going to take that. You still have a Plex server that you take, right?
No, didn't take that.
Whoa, really?
Well,
Dude,
see,
I took so for the boys, right? So they at nighttime we let them watch an episode of YouTube or something. So I've downloaded a bunch of that onto an iPad, and I don't need it to be on. It doesn't have internet, doesn't like Wi-Fi, but it doesn't have cell phone service on it. So it's a handful of episodes that they can watch. But that's the only we had our phones and an iPad.
I'm just so flabbergasted because when I was a kid and my parents, we went camping, and Andy, you can attest to this too.
Right.
We went camping. First off, we didn't have smartphones back when I was a kid when we were camping, and we didn't have TV. So like when we went camping, it was like we would go out and look at bugs. We would find anthills and we would find sticks and try to find the best stick and the coolest rock. Like
Right.
this is what the world is missing nowadays. Like everybody is
Yeah.
so into their devices. Like even Eric, like I'm just like a couple nights ago, same thing. I'm not trying to take away from your story. I'm going to go back to your story, Shawn. A couple nights ago, Eric was like, "I'm bored," because I told him no TV. I'm bored. Go out and find insects. And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Are we cavemen?" And I was like, "Oh my God."
Oh, it is so true. It's
So, I
so
mean, like,
true.
to reiterate your point, like my boys like to watch YouTube, right? They like to watch the fun videos that they find, but we will just turn music on, stream Pandora, or put music on that we have around the house, and they will do puzzles, they'll read books, they do everything else but watch TV. So it's not always on YouTube.
Yeah.
But
I-
back to my story. So you're lucky if you get 1 bar of cell phone service there, right? So if you want to get service, you have to drive into town, which is like 6 or 7 miles. And I was having issues with my phone, right? Caitlin was able to connect and get 1 bar of service to check in with my parents because my phone was having issues. So come to find out,
And your phone is a what again?
an iPhone 13 Pro,
Uh-huh.
and
But you
I'm
have the
running
iOS.
and I'm running the iOS 26 developer beta.
Uh-huh.
So,
Sorry, no, go ahead.
So I was trying to figure out what was going on with my phone. The battery was dying super fast. Like I couldn't figure out what was going on. Even on their crappy Wi-Fi, it wasn't working very well. And so I just did some investigation. Come to find out, my phone just decided you no longer have a SIM.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Nope.
It couldn't identify.
No longer have a SIM. No cell phone plan was attached to my phone. Period.
So now, were you running a physical SIM or a eSIM?
So this story gets a little more complicated as we go.
Boy.
So back when I
This
bought
is
my
gonna be
phone,
good.
back when I bought my phone in 2022, I bought it, got the physical SIM. 2 days later, it fell off the counter at work in the bathroom onto the tile floor and shattered the back glass because I hadn't bought a case for it yet. So I took it back to the Apple store because I had Apple Care. And they said, "Yep, no, it's covered under Apple Care, no problem. We don't have spare parts for the phones yet because I just bought it was the week of release. So I got a whole new phone. I got a whole new iPhone 13.
Break a phone like within 4 days of it coming out.
But at that point, they wouldn't activate a new physical SIM, so they just activated an eSIM. Cool, problem solved.
Fair
Great.
enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So 3 years later, we're here. This is the problem I'm having. Is not finding the eSIM, whatever. Drive into town to the public library in Curtis, Michigan, which is like smaller than my house, and get on their really old computer and connect to Verizon and get somebody and
I'm just picturing the dial-up sound as you're.
not dial up, not dial up.
You've
It's not
got
that.
mail.
Connect to Verizon, and they have me check my email, scan a QR code with my phone, and it tries to activate the SIM over the Wi-Fi. Just sits there and spins, doesn't do anything.
Ooh.
So we restart my phone, try it again, issues me a new second, doesn't work. Couldn't make it work. And I was like, you know what? I don't have service anyways. It doesn't matter. Like I'll just deal with it when I drive back home. So 2 days ago we got
You felt
back.
naked, right? You felt naked.
No, I didn't. I
during that
didn't.
time.
I really didn't. It really didn't bother me that I was disconnected. I mean, we had Caitlin's phone, so if there was an emergency, it wasn't a big deal. So I go to the Apple store. And they're like, well, you're running the developer beta. So why don't we just, because they ran a hardware scan and it said there was a hardware failure, whatever. He's like, all right, let's restore your phone back to iOS 18.
Uh-oh.
So they restored it back to iOS 18. And now it was saying there were 2 SIMs in it.
What?
So
Okay.
the 2 eSIMs that we registered with Verizon worked, but there was an issue with the developer beta that was no longer showing the eSIMs.
Oh no.
Ooh, that's what you
So
get
now that
for
there were
running a
now that there
developer. Oh man.
now that there were 2 eSIMs on there, I could make phone calls, but iMessage and text messages didn't know where to go because there were 2 SIMs and it was conflicting.
Oh
So
boy.
then it was a Verizon problem.
Right.
So I go over to Verizon and they're like, "Oh, this is weird. Cool. Let me pop out your physical SIM card." I was like, "Wait, I don't have a physical SIM card." Pops the door open. There's a physical SIM card in there.
Are you kidding me?
Why?
I had a physical SIM card the whole time.
Wait, was
I
it
thought you.
the SIM from the other one? It had to have been.
Don't know.
I thought you said.
But my phone never had a physical SIM attached to it. It was always an eSIM. So they
So
must
you're
have
talking
just
about,
moved the SIM card over.
Is this some David Blaine stuff or
No, no.
something?
So anyway, the lady at Verizon's like, we have to activate a new SIM. We'll give you a new physical SIM card. I was like, perfect, great, new physical SIM card, perfect. Let's do it. Solve the problem. An hour at Verizon and it was up and running. It was fine. Update back to the developer beta. Run my iCloud.
Why would you do
backup.
that?
Because my iCloud backup is in developer beta. I couldn't back up to
This
iOS
is why
18.
you don't do betas.
Oh.
So I don't have a current, I'm a month in on the developer beta. I don't have a current iOS 18 backup.
This is why you don't do betas.
So back onto the iOS 26 beta. Can't figure out how to restore to get my iCloud backup. I had to erase the phone once I moved it up to iOS 26 to then restore make it a new device and then restore from my iCloud backup.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. You said that they reverted your phone back to iOS 18.
Correct.
Right.
That was the iOS back 4 years ago?
No.
No.
What is the current iOS right now?
iOS 18.
So
It
why
is.
are you talking about you're on iOS 26?
That's the beta.
That's the
for what
beta.
will be out.
That's the beta. So iOS 26 is going to be the new iOS coming in.
What happened
a
in
month or
19,
two.
20, 21,
They
22,
skipped it.
23,
They went from
24, 25?
They went from 18 to 26. They
They
just
This is
renamed it.
why I don't like Apple.
They pulled a Microsoft.
Yeah. So I upgrade it. I restore or reset all the settings and then re-image it to my iCloud backup and everything's fine. Because when I went to Apple, they had said, "Hey, your battery is at like 70% total battery life. Bring it back in. We'll replace the battery for free because it's covered under Apple Care." I set an appointment for Monday. Went back in Monday. They're like, "Oh, great, everything worked out. You were, you glad it worked out yesterday for you. Oh, you put it back on the developer beta. We won't service any devices on the developer beta. We have to downgrade you back to iOS 18."
So you had to go back to 18 again.
I had to go back to 18. Same thing. The whole thing. Back to 18.
To replace a battery?
Whatever.
This is why, everybody, you don't do betas.
No, this is why you don't go with Apple.
Oh, come on, everybody. Every company
No.
does some kind of beta that gets messed up.
This is why you don't go with Apple.
So then I had to, I left the Apples, it took them an hour to do the battery. So I walked around the mall, which was weird. I walked around the mall.
Did you buy an Android?
Mostly empty stores, right?
Mostly empty stores. Yeah, I walked into like an FYE, which was awful. It's just like cheap garbage, like pop culture garbage. I mean, it was an interesting experience walking around the mall. I got lunch at the food court, which is good.
Yeah.
What'd you get there? Tell me which one.
Asian something. I don't remember.
Yeah. Of course, that's all they have left.
Because it was
That
good.
and the Sbarro. They got to have Sbarro.
Sbarro and in a random Asian restaurant. That's all they have at food courts anymore.
But so ended up coming home. I had to do the same thing. Had to update it to iOS 26, wipe it,
You still wait,
and then
okay,
redo my iCloud again.
well, wait a minute. Couldn't you have gone onto a Mac and then connected to your iCloud and gotten it that way?
You can't go from iOS 18 to
Okay,
a
got it.
iCloud backup that's in a different version. You have to go to that version of. It's like
On
I
that
had to
device.
go up to iOS 26 developer beta, then wipe it so it was treated
Oh,
as a new
man.
device, and then
Right.
restore it from my iCloud backup.
If Tim Cook is listening to this show, he's probably laughing his butt off right now.
Probably.
Frustrating. That has got to be. That is so frustrating. That's the same frustrations I ran into, Shawn, with this new laptop. All right, number one, I wanted to ask you guys. I got a Lenovo 530, right? I bought it back in 2019, and it was great. Everything was great. One morning, I used it. I had it on a table, and then somebody said, "Oh, I need a file. Can you send me the file?" So I went, got it off that laptop, put it on a flash drive, went to my desktop, and did it that way. I get to work, and I open up and plug everything in. I open it up, wouldn't power up. Couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. No power. Check the charger. I had a light there. I had a light that it was charging. Nothing at all. So I had to go without a laptop. It was like for a whole show. It was crazy. So I get it home and I start, reading about it. I go ahead and I open it up. I look, everything's connected right. It looks good. And I read about this Novo button that the Lenovos have on the side of them. So you have a power button, and the way that this one's designed is terrible. It's got the keyboard up on top. Basically a sealed keyboard, right? It's not like the keyboard that pops through. And you've got a power button. So the only way to get to this button is by removing the motherboard, the fan system, everything. And so I don't know, is the button screwed up? So I press the Novo button and I get a power light and it comes on. And I'm like, wow, there's no message, no warning, nothing. It's working. So I'm all happy, and I think, okay, whatever it was, it's fixed. I shut it off. The next day, I decided to take a look at it. I go to power up, no power. So I thought, maybe that Novo button had something to do with it. I pull the back off of it again, and I push that button, and nothing. And I'm like frustrated. So I think it's got to be maybe the CMOS battery. So I go ahead and I order a CMOS battery. Then I'm thinking, well, maybe it's the battery itself. It didn't feel swelling, so I ordered the battery. Right, that comes from iFixit, $70. So I get that. I get that in a couple of days, and I hook it all up, and it powers up. But it doesn't power up with the power button on top. It powers up with the Novo button. So I'm thinking, okay, there's something else here. And then is when I shut it down, right? I go to start it up again. Same thing. I have to disconnect the CMOS and the battery, wait a second, reconnect it, and then hit that Novo button and it powers up. So I have no idea. Once it's powered up, it performs great. What do you think, Justin?
Well, I don't know exactly in your particular case, but it does sound like it's a failing motherboard. But I can tell you right now, I've had the almost exact same experience with my laptop
Right.
recently. So I have a work laptop. I have an Asus ROG Strix,
Ooh,
um, really nice. It's
I think I remember
classified.
when you got it. It's top of
Yeah,
the line.
it
Yeah.
it's top of the line. It's classified as a gaming laptop. I don't necessarily use it for gaming. I use it for a lot of Photoshop, video editing, things that I have to do at work because I have to troubleshoot a lot of other people's problems. So if they
Right.
have a problem with like Photoshop, I have to have Photoshop so I can figure out what's going on with it, right? Anyway, top of the line laptop. All of a sudden, just recently, it was about probably about a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe. I would just notice that I would shut it down, and when I would go to turn it back on, the keyboard, because it's an RGB keyboard, the keyboard would flash up, and then nothing, and it would be nothing. The black screen, no boot logo, nothing. It would just go back to being dead.
Right.
And I'd press the button again, power button, and then the same thing. Keyboard would flash up, nothing. I would have to hold down the power button for 60 seconds, not 30,
Right.
60, because 60 will reset the CMOS.
It like clears it almost.
It clears the CMOS. And
Yeah.
then, boom, it would power up just fine. But date and time was wrong because
Oh, yeah.
it clears the CMOS. So I would find that it would happen. It started happening once, then it would happen again, and then again, 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 and then again, 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 again. It would happen more and more often as time went on. And so I started looking up this problem, and there was no concrete evidence about it, but it does sound similar to what your problem is, Andy. It from what I can deduce from looking at resources, using AI and also forums, it's a problem with the motherboard. It could be a problem with the CPU
Mm-hmm.
coming loose from the motherboard because these computers, especially mine, I don't know about yours, but mine was like again classified as a gaming laptop. It had a
Yep.
very powerful graphics card. The fans were always blowing like crazy. It could be overheating and eventually melted some of the contacts of the motherboard.
Ah, that could be
And
it.
and
Yeah.
so I finally was like, look, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I just like I have to have a laptop that works for work. So
Yeah.
I went to my boss and I said, look, I know I just bought this laptop for like $1,900 a couple years ago. It's not working.
Wow.
And I have to have, as the IT manager, I have to have a laptop that works. So I said, do I have your permission to get another laptop? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. So I bought an HP Omen 16 Max.
You went with an HP.
I
That
am
surprises
not
me.
a fan of HP,
Oh, yeah.
but I did a lot of research on this and I said, look, I need to stay within a certain amount of budget because I don't have a lot of money in my budget for work. I
Right.
said, I need to be a powerful computer. I needed to be able to have a great graphics card for, doing photo and video editing just in case I need it, but I do need it to have a good CPU. Now, my Asus, the one that was having problems, was an Intel i9 uh
Ooh,
13th gen, I want to say.
that's a pretty good.
Well,
No.
So was it the microcode issue that you had?
what's that?
So in the 13th and 14th generation of
That's
the
right.
i9s had microcode issues where the microcode would literally literally melt the processor.
No,
Yeah.
okay, here's the thing. So with that Asus, my employee has the exact same computer as me. Exact. Like we bought 2 copies of that computer.
Right.
His is also having the exact same issue.
It's
That's
probably
gotta be
it's
it.
probably the microcode issue.
Yep.
So now this microcode issue, can you explain more about it? Like I'll let you look it up. Let me continue with my story.
After the break, I'll kind of give a recap on what the microcode issue
Okay,
is.
please do,
that's
please do,
big.
because this is very interesting to me because I don't know about this. So anyway, I decided to go instead of Intel because I heard about there was issues with the 13th and 14th gen. I went with an AMD Ryzen 9.
Mm-hmm.
So the HP Omen Max 16 has an AMD Ryzen 9
Right.
and it has an RTX 5060.
Oh man. Wow.
Which is really interesting because half the time, okay, this is really weird. But when I launch the NVIDIA app on the computer,
Right.
it tells me that I have a 4070. But
Hmm.
then Windows tells me that I have a 50. I'm sorry, no, other way around. Windows tells me I have a 4070, but the NVIDIA app tells me I have a 5060. And when I go to Grok and I tell it I have an HP Omen Max 16 with an RTX 5060, it says, "Oh, the user must be confused. There is no such thing as a 5060. They must have a 4070."
Are you kidding me? Sounds
But
like some
but
dirty pool in there.
well, no, but the thing is Nvidia recognizes it as a 5060, and that's what it was sold as, was a
Uh,
5060. But I can tell you right now, I have tested it with some video editing apps. I even went ahead, I even did the unthinkable. I installed Baldur's Gate 3
all right.
on this, which is one of the most graphically intensive games.
Yeah.
It runs it like butter.
Really? Because your
And
spins
the
up a lot?
fans, no, the fans are hardly even present. Now, that's the big difference because between my Asus had a 3070 Ti, so it's 2 generations older.
Right.
Even though on paper that the 3070 Ti is more powerful than the 5060, the 5060 is a lot more power efficient. So I can run these power hungry apps with a lot less power and a lot less fan and a lot less heat.
HP has always been, and I some of the longest living laptops I had been HPs, but then HP got into this area there where, I mean, yeah, they bought other companies had a gaming line, the whole bit, the Omen, and they got accused of bloatware, and we just saw a lot of bloatware, a lot of stuff that was like
This didn't come with any bloatware, which was crazy.
really,
Yeah.
For an HP, that's
yeah.
color me surprised.
Yeah, no, seriously. This did not come with any bloatware at all.
So I ended up doing this thing. I had to get a laptop because I use it for work, business, the whole bit. And I was thinking, well, I had good luck with an Asus that eventually died, but it'd been in service for many years. Then I went to this Lenovo, being the fact that it was in service for 5, 6 years, and then it's been giving me problems. I was like trying to figure out what to get. I go to Walmart. They had their ROG. They had a ROG that was there.
Yeah.
Asus Republic of Gamers. It was their top of the line. It was marked down to $1,200 from $1,600, but it was missing keys and it looked like it'd been beat up. And I asked the clerk. I said, "Do you have any open box? Of the this one that's marked down to 1,200?" They go, "No, that's the one." I said, "But it's missing keys." And I said, "Tell you what, you mark it down to 9, I'll buy it." She said, "Well, you could talk to the manager." And I went to the manager and I told them the same thing. Well, well, somebody will come along and probably just want it. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to spend that money on it. I ended up getting myself another Lenovo. And it's a AMD. My first time back to the AMD platform after so many years being Intel.
AMD has gotten so much better.
I'm pretty impressed. The problem with this thing, and it's been driving, I reinstalled about 3 times, was Microsoft Windows wants to attach to everything. OneDrive wants to be your best friend. And
So does
OneDrive,
Copilot.
Oh my God.
Uninstall OneDrive.
Oh, the worst experience ever. And I don't mind OneDrive for a document, like being able to upload it and grab my document. I don't want it to share desktops. I don't want it to do all this. I have a backup solution from Acronis. Just leave me alone when it comes to OneDrive. Just just was awful. And I think I finally got it set up. And now my big question, I asked you, Justin, the other day, should I go with a local like a local user on Windows, or do I do the login to my Windows account, my Microsoft account, and go that way? Some people have said go with local instead. So that's why I wasn't sure what to do.
I mean, Shawn, you take this one because I've already given
Uh,
my ideas on this.
uh, Connecting my computer to an account that is solely based by Microsoft scares the crap out of me.
Yeah. That's
Like,
what I thought.
why would you not just build a local account?
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Like, that's what I do for my computers, and then I just
Right.
connect things internally. Like, if my Outlook, I've got other things that I'll connect to, but I don't, because you have to authentic. I feel like it's gonna have to authenticate to their servers every time you connect to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be like an Active Directory, but I don't want, like, just wipe it and put an act. Like, I would just do local user. Like, I wouldn't connect it to an account.
Well,
I've
it's
I've
almost like, go on.
I was gonna say I've always just done what Microsoft wants because part of it's part of it is because they make it so gosh darn difficult to not do what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The reminders, the nags.
Well, not even the nags. It's like you can't even install Windows now
Yeah.
without connecting to a Microsoft account. If you go to install a fresh copy of Windows, it's like, all right, here's the part where you have to set up Windows, sign into your account. There's no skip.
There's some work
There
No,
is.
there's a
Yeah.
workaround, but you have to type in a special command, reboot the computer, and
Disconnect
then
from the
go through
net.
the yeah, and
Yeah.
it's
And
ridiculous.
you can't have it plugged in. You can't have the Wi-Fi card plugged in, because if it detects any semblance of the internet, it's like, whoa, you've got internet, bro. You gotta connect. Like,
Yeah.
you can't
No,
have the
we know
Ethernet.
what you're doing.
You can't have an Ethernet cord plugged in. You can't have the Wi-Fi plugged in. Like, it knows that
Wait,
you're
hold on.
trying to
Did you
skip
just say Wi-Fi plugged in?
it.
Do you
So
even Wi-Fi, bro?
no. So when I tried to do it I built a computer for my niece. I had to physically pull the PCIe wireless card out of it because
Oh
it
yeah,
would
well,
not.
yeah.
It kept saying you've got wireless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So once I
ridiculous.
did that, ran the no pass, whatever Shift F10, whatever the code
Yeah.
is.
Well, my
Then
I
once
told
I disconnected the Wi-Fi card from the motherboard, it let me do it
I think
without it.
it's like what A B up down, left right,
yeah, this,
start,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
I told you the system in the studio got messed up. Now I can my production system's okay, but the other one that I use for editing and stuff like that. So I'm thinking maybe it's time to just put Linux Mint on this on one of them.
Hmm.
But and then I was thinking, but the problem is then can I network? Can I network with the other computers?
Of course you can.
And I started asking ChatGPT all these technical questions, and it told me, yeah, use Samba. Apparently, if
Yeah,
you're on
Samba.
Linux Mint and you use Samba, yeah, you can network. And it said there are no limitations, honestly, to what you want to do. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some.
Linux is just making like here's the thing. Every time Microsoft makes a mess up and they take one step back, Linux takes like a half a step forward.
It's just the thing
And
about getting
eventually
into
Linux is going to take over.
it's the thing about getting into people's hands that, hey, here's something you could try. It's either going to be relatively inexpensive or free, and this will do what you want it to do, and it's not going to look too different. Microsoft keeps changing the well, not outlook, the look for its OS anyways. So why not? Here's something you may be
But
familiar with. It looks like Windows 10 or Windows 10.
the problem with Linux though, I could go on and on about Linux, but here's the thing. But the problem with Linux is one of the main problems is as soon as people start to get into Linux, it's like that famous meme where the guy is hand in hand with the girl, but he's looking back at the other more
Yeah,
attractive girl.
should have had that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, let's imagine the guy is the user, The girl that he's hand in hand with is Linux Mint. The girl that he's looking back at is Windows 12.
Mm,
And
yeah.
that's what happens every single time. Every time Linux makes a couple steps, Windows is like, "Hey, we got this brand new operating system. It's pretty sweet." Everybody's like, "Okay, I'll go back to Windows again."
Yeah, but you see, I don't know. Here's the thing. I think Microsoft believes that everybody wants AI. That's why they're sticking
Every
to
major every
Everybody.
major tech company thinks everybody wants AI.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about this after the Worldwide Developer Conference about how Apple's has pretty much distanced themselves from their own AI. They've integrated ChatGPT into the new iPhone, the new iOS. Um, and I think that Apple's just coming around realizing that AI is not all it's cut up to be.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
maybe in certain aspects, but there's a whole nother conversation about AI that we could
All right.
have.
We got to take a break. Come back, Shawn. You looked up some stuff on this code this microprocessor code error that Intel had with 13th, 14th gen. So we'll go over that when we come back with Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
So before the break, we were talking about Justin's laptop woes,
Yeah.
and when he mentioned the i9 processor, 13th gen, I
Yep.
immediately keyed into, hey, 2024 Intel when they released the i13 or the i9 13 and then the i9 14 generations, they had a pretty significant issue with those processors.
Was it 2024 or 2023? I think it might have been 2020.
2024.
It was?
Well,
Okay.
see, okay, but the thing about the one when I bought it, it was 2020. Oh, gosh, I want to say it was 2023, late 2023, but it was definitely an i9 13th gen.
So
Correct.
they identified. So you're probably right. So it's they identified the problem mid-August of 2024.
Hmm.
So likely it affected probably early i13 or the
It could
early.
also it could also be because of all the different Windows updates. Some with Windows might have also done something to it. But yeah, go ahead.
So this is not a Windows issue. This is an Intel CPU issue.
Oh, okay.
So the TLDR on this is that there's an instability on the Intel i9 13 and 14 Gen desktops CPUs that stemmed from microcode bugs causing excessive voltage and permanent chip degradation. So basically, the code that runs on the chip itself handling voltage regulation was failing, literally burning up the CPUs. So it issued a series of fixes via BIOS updates to basically
No BIOS updates.
cap the voltage and protect some of the unaffected chips.
Wait, you didn't do a BIOS update on it?
No, no, I have looked and looked and looked. I have done Driver Easy, which I've talked about Driver Easy many, many times on this show. It's an amazing program. I have done Driver Easy. I have gone to ASUS's website. There is absolutely no BIOS update since June of 2023.
Wow.
Nothing.
That seems kind of strange.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So it says to up to the fix. It says it's not a fix. It says to update your BIOS, and then use all of the default all of the default processor settings on your BIOS. And if you're still seeing crashes, RMA it because they extended the warranty for the i9s.
Wait, hold on. They extended the warranty?
Yes.
Okay, because I tried to actually go to ASUS's website and type in my serial number, and it said it was not under warranty anymore.
That's interesting because it should be.
So Intel expanded its warranty in August of 2024, adding 2 extra years onto affected retail and OEM core i9s, i7s, and some i5 Raptor Lake models, including K, KF, KS, F, and non-K variants.
Man.
I don't know how to resolve this then because
Well, you know what? I'll reach out to Asus as well, and we can ask them, just to see because maybe they can fix it. Maybe, yeah, I'm holding on to my Lenovo, hoping maybe I can find a fix for that.
Well, I'm holding on to this too. I mean, I was literally about to give it to my intern and say, "Here, take it apart and see what you can learn about a PC."
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to do that because it's such an expensive PC.
Or I could sell mine and just say, just unplug the CMOS, unplug the battery, plug it in, it'll work.
It's ridiculous.
So
but no, now
both machines you guys are talking about are running the i9s.
Yeah, mine's a i7. So yeah.
So it's the 13 and 14th gen, right? So it could be an i7 13 gen or an
I think it
i7
is.
14 gen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would look into seeing if maybe reaching out to Intel specifically and not Asus.
Oh, that's
See,
right, Justin.
see, Andy, this is why I told you we should bring Shawn on the show.
Specifically this reason.
This
Somebody
this
else might
reason
be
exactly
listening to
right
this
here.
that has
Yeah,
gone through
yeah.
this, and
Because
yeah.
Shawn is like that guy. He's like James Bond's Q. Like he's the guy that does all the research in the background.
That's it,
When
Shawn.
we can't figure it out, he's like, "Oh yeah, here's your problem."
You're Shawn. You're
See,
gonna have to do
that's a blessing in disguise because it's painstaking for me to buy anything
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
because I have to do like 30 review checks. I want to get it.
I just need to
test
start
it.
asking you, Shawn, before I buy anything. I'd be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?"
Yeah.
I just love technology, man.
Yeah,
I was
that's
just going to
awesome.
say, Shawn has to do the show from now on in a British accent, though. Just like,
No, absolutely not. Nobody wants that.
Can you just give us an example of what your British accent
No.
might be?
come on, we
No.
got to hear it. We got to hear
Nope.
it.
Just
No.
once, just once.
No,
Mr. Jo-
nope.
Oh,
Jolly
darn it.
Good.
Nope. Nope.
Jolly good.
I'm a
No.
real Brit, so I can listen
See,
and
yeah,
sit there and tell
Andy
you.
can actually do a British
might-
accent.
Get a no doc and be gone if I do that.
Oh my god.
So reach out to Intel
Okay, yeah.
Okay, reach
Say,
out to
hey,
Intel. Oh,
you guys-
thanks for
you
getting
guys
back on
screwed
track
up.
there, Shawn.
and
Wait, are you talking about should we literally reach out to Intel or the manufacturer of the laptop?
Oh, I think Intel first.
Well, how could Intel? I mean, what's Intel gonna do? Intel's gonna be like, well, you got to reach out to your manufacturer.
Yeah, that's probably.
but it's an Intel problem.
Well, okay, but they're not gonna literally like. Are they gonna take my laptop back and put it with a different Intel?
There's a
processor?
serial number on your CPU. Take it out. Take the serial number and take it to Intel and say, "I'm having this issue.
Yeah.
Fix it."
Here's an interesting thing too, and one other thing I would mention, Justin, is do a search for a class action lawsuit, just to see if anybody else has had the same issue. This happened to me just a few weeks ago. I had a customer bring me a laptop that they said, "Can you put Windows 10 on it?" And it had Windows 7, and I said, "Yeah, let me take a look at it." I went off to I found a license for Windows 10 on Stack Social, and it was cheap. And I think it went through Groupon or whatever it was. I think it was $11, right? It's a lot better than paying $100 and something dollars. So I got that installed. Everything was fine. The other thing he wanted was the hinge fixed. So on this Toshiba 655, you'd go to open the laptop and it'd be fine, but then you go to close it and the whole back right started lifting up, and then you have to snap it down.
Yep.
So I went ahead and I took it apart to look at it, and the plastic that was holding the little screws in place that hold the mounts for the hinge were shattered. They're completely broken. And I'm like, this is awful. How am I gonna? There's no way to fix this. I thought try a little monster, glue or Gorilla Glue. No, that's not gonna work. So I ended up going online, and I got lucky. I found a laptop, the same brand, same year, the whole bit, for $20. And this was on eBay. And I said, I'll take a chance. So I bought it. I paid maybe $20 for shipping as well. And I get this laptop in. I open it up, and the hinge system completely different. The hinge system had a metal plate on it that held everything in place so it wouldn't snap. And I thought, this is pretty amazing. This is cool. So I ended up changing out everything. I had to take motherboard out, the whole bit, and got it into this case, and now perfect with the hinges, the whole bit. But while I was doing the research for this, I found out it was a class action lawsuit against Toshiba for this hinge system that was breaking on everybody that was opening and closing their laptops.
Really?
But it was too late because it had already been satisfied. With the courts, it was too late to try and file a claim. Just other people. Luckily, this laptop I got in didn't have that issue. Matter of fact, I think it came out after this model,
When
this
they
guy's
fixed it.
model.
Yeah,
So they had fixed it, and I just got lucky there. But
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll check into that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think the problem also is like Asus customer support is pretty much non-existent.
everything is that way now.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Customer support, it's hard to get in touch with anybody.
And if you do, it's just AI. It's
Yeah.
usually you're talking to some, like it's like Hi, I'm Greg. How can I
Mhm.
help you today? And I'm like, Greg, are you an AI? And it's like, yes, I'm an AI. I'm here to assist you. I'm like, put me in touch with a real person.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Dave. I cannot do that.
That's your 2001 voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
I'm sorry,
frustrating.
Dave.
But
I
I was
cannot
thinking
do
about this
that.
the other I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm restarting my design business, my service business, going a little more forward with it. And I get so much spam calls, and they're local spam calls. Now, I must say, I am on Xfinity. A lot of the information, Xfinity had a big hack. A lot of that got out there that had my home residence, that had my phone number, my name, business, the whole bit. And that's how they got the information. So I'm thinking it's time to change the phone numbers and time to change emails
Mm-hmm.
and just start over and see. Hopefully, I won't get somebody else that, because businesses have to deal with that now. Spam calls to the front desk. What do you do? Is there any service that will block them? Or do you just offshoot
There's
them to an AI service that will answer your call for you?
Well, okay, a couple quick thoughts about this. I actually subscribe to a daily newsletter that comes into my inbox every day. It's Roca News. And this might be like the website of the week. I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But one of their common advertisers is Incognito. And they always talk about it incognito. You sign up with them. It's like, I don't know, $30 a year, something like I don't
Right.
know exactly. But they promise to like remove your information from the internet as best as they can, especially the dark web.
Oh,
And they claim that they can reduce, spam calls, spam emails by 90%.
right.
So that's kind of interesting. So that might be
90%. That's pretty big.
well, yeah, it's a bold claim.
Yeah.
But it might be something to look into. Incognito is one of those websites that might help you out.
All right. We got to take another quick break. You wanted to talk a little bit about AI as well. I know we have a listener question as well and a comment on our website that has got a lot of people upset. So we'll do that when we come back. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Send us an X at Tech Talk Radio as long as you're not spam. We'll be right back. So we were talking a little bit about AI in the past here, past couple segments. I recently read an article that talked about the um, top jobs that would be affected by AI.
Ooh,
I think it was top 25 jobs to be affected by AI, and the top 25 jobs that would not be affected by AI.
really? Okay.
And I want to ask you, Andy, first,
Yeah.
what industry do you think would be affected the most by AI, and what would you think would be affected the least? And I'm going to ask Shawn the same question.
Well, the most by AI would be uh, like a online like publication. All of
Like
the stuff could be
journalists or whatever.
journalist. Yeah, journalist.
Okay.
I know that radio has been affected by it. That has been one of the things. As far as the least, medical profession, anything in the world of medical, you can't have AI doing a diagnosis for you. So that would be one that I don't think would be touched. Um,
Okay. Well,
uh,
how about you, Shawn?
yeah.
The most
I
affected, I mean, least affected
copywriting, journalism.
for the first. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's by far hands down. That's somebody's job was to pull the wires. And I worked in Justin, we both
Yeah.
worked in news, and
Yeah.
Andy, you work in radio, kind of the same thing. Somebody's job was to read the wires and write copy and put it on the website.
Yeah.
Now it's just all AI generated.
Yeah.
It just reads the wire and it spits out a copy that's got a little bit of flavor for the local station, and it's done.
Yep.
Um, Transcribing. So
Yep.
anybody transcription, live captioning.
Hmm.
We're
Okay. How
we're
about least?
least trucking,
Oh,
Trucking. Okay.
oh yeah.
So,
physical. I mean, I know that it's coming with it down the road, but it's down the road.
No pun
Um,
intended.
but there's so much more regulation in the auto industry for
so
AI than. But I think more physical, like physical goods, moving of physical goods, shipping, logistics, like there's AI involved, right? But people still have to move the content from place to place. So shipping and logistics,
Okay.
in the physical portion of it, not the logistics side of it, the planning and the freight and the calculations and the that mileage and the fuel and like that's all going to get taken over by AI hands down. But the actual like driving of the vehicles.
I don't know, but
Okay.
they're talking about AI driving vehicles, though.
Okay, okay. Let me interject here. Let me interject. Okay, so and Andy, what did you say was the most? It was like journalists
Journalism, yeah,
and then Sean, you
online.
also said journalism. Okay, so that was definitely on the list of the most affected. It was like I think it was like the 15th. I don't have the list in front of me right now. It was like the 15th most affected. The other ones that were affected were basically all of the top college degree jobs.
Whoa.
Anything
Okay.
that had a college degree was going to be affected by AI, including computer programming, including
Yeah.
banking, including just basically any. If you look down the list, it was pretty much anything with a college degree. Now, you said affected by it. Sean, you mentioned trucking. Trucking was actually on the list of the most affected because of AI cars, like self-driving trucks. That
They've
was
been doing
actually
the
on the list.
test in Phoenix with these trucks, that
Yeah.
18 wheelers that are
So that right there is on the list of most affected. The least affected jobs that according to this one particular study, okay, I'm not saying this is all, set in stone. Trade jobs, plumbing, electricians, uh, uh,
HVAC.
HVAC, anything that requires hands on. These were the least affected jobs. Now, this is kind of interesting because, we talk about people like, kids growing up, they're like, oh my God, you got to go to college. You got to get a degree. You got to be successful in the world. You got to get a degree. But there's so many people out there that are like, no, you don't necessarily have to get a degree. You need to get a trade. Go study a trade. Go be an electrician. Go be a plumber. Go do this. And I know these people these are not office jobs. These are not regarded in today's society as being the most prestigious jobs. But I'll tell you right now, these are the jobs that are not going to be affected by AI, regardless of what AI ends up turning out to be. These are the jobs that are still going to require human hands to do this. And trade skills are just becoming more and more prevalent in today's society versus going to college, getting a 4-year degree, coming out, and then finding no jobs.
Yeah, that's kind of that's scary. Spending all that money for the education and then find out there's no
That's why
job.
I'm not pushing for Eric, my son. He's 8.5 years old. I'm not pushing for him to go to college. Now we're not at the point where I'm talking about him going to trade school. I mean, he doesn't even know about what that means.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell him, look, man, there's other options out there besides just college. Like especially when it comes to the world of AI. If AI is going to take over journalism, which was very high on the list, let me try to think of other ones that are out there. Medical was even on the list of most affected.
Really?
Yes, medical assistant was on the list of being the most affected because doctors are turning to AI to help diagnose certain ailments, if you will.
I like how some medical offices are using technology like tablets. You go in, you're given a tablet, and then you enter your information onto that tablet, and it is sort of the same way but it number one reduces the paperwork load, and number two makes it faster for you to be processed. But will they eventually get rid of those people that are checking you in when you go to the hospital, whether you're having a baby or having heart surgery?
I have a bone to pick with that, and I think our listeners will too. Every time I go to the doctor's office, they ask me, before I come in, they ask me, fill out this online questionnaire.
Right.
I type my name, my social security number, I type in all my ailments, I type in, do I have, all these different diseases? No, 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 no. I
Right.
get to the office, they're like, okay, now you need to check in. They give me another tablet asking me the same damn thing. And
Yes.
then I get into the waiting room and the doctor comes in and asks me the same damn questions.
You are 100% correct.
Correct.
It's so stupid. Sorry, I'm
There
done.
is a there is a certain amount of redundancy while trying to
The
be.
Department of Redundancy Department. Damn it.
All right, we got to take a break. That was good. We'll come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. You have a website of the week. We got a listener question. I don't know if we can get this in, but we're going to try with more of that. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy, and I'm mad. We'll be right back.
One of the things I love working with these guys is I can say something in all seriousness and it could be misconstrued. It could be thrown because we were talking here. What should we talk about here for this next segment? Things that are important. I thought, you know, when we're in the summer months like we are and it gets really hot, we need to talk about your technology, your computers in heat. And of course, Justin had the question that just worked it out perfectly.
Are you talking about wait, are we talking about computers in heat like they're gonna reproduce? Or are we talking about
When two computers love each other.
they're just gonna come together and have a little baby computer?
But make sure you have a proper antivirus.
Use protection, folks.
That, kids, is where flash drives come from.
The USB can only go in one way.
All right. Seriously, though, when it comes to your computers and heat, you got to be careful. Don't leave them in your car.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Any technology, heat is the killer of most technology, right? It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
that's
totally.
why there's fans. That's why,
Yeah.
and obviously you're going, and we don't have this problem so
crying
bad
right
here,
now.
but
You
Yeah.
ever grab your smartphone and it like tells you it's got warning where it's overheated, and it was just sitting on the charging plate that's that you drive with, so it's you hands free, and it
Well,
could heat up just being in the car.
Well, yes, truthfully, yes, but we also don't live in Arizona where it's 150,000 degrees.
True. Well, you still have to worry about that, don't you? I mean, the sun isn't in
yeah, it gets,
Colorado.
my car gets hot enough I worry about, I mean, I've ruined at least one dash cam
Right.
having it
Yep.
mounted in the windshield all the time.
Yep.
And then, a lens is a focal point and it focuses the sun. So it can melt the internals. It can destroy cameras. So
Yeah, I think that's what I have a LaView camera in the back. It hangs from the light bulb and you can't see anything. It's all blurred. I think it just fried the lens just from being in the heat.
You know what? I think I have the name of the show.
All right, what is the name of the show?
When
This
two
week's show?
computers love each other.
There you go. I think that works. All right, quick website of the week. Anybody got one?
I do. It's called Incogni, and I was talking about a
Okay,
little bit
there you
about
go.
earlier. So it's INCOGNI,
right.
incogni.com. It claims to be able to protect you from identity theft, from spam, from online stalking, from doxing, digital redlining, spam calls. Okay, the website actually just keeps repeating itself here. I'm just reading off the website. It's a great website. So it's
Right.
30-day money back guarantee. It's been talked about on Tech Radar, Cyber News, PC Gamer, NordVPN, Surfshark. It's a really good website. And it kind of promises to kind of just take your information off of the web so you're not as susceptible to all of these, these fake people that are calling you or
Wanna-
spamming you or whatever.
I'd love to see a comparison between LifeLock and Incogni.
Oh
and
gosh, LifeLock.
Yeah.
LifeLock. I don't know.
So
Norton is-
my one question is,
No.
say I pay for 1 year,
right.
okay, and they wipe my data. What happens if I don't renew at that 1 year?
They put
Well,
it
I don't.
back.
They
No,
put
I
it
don't-
all back.
Yeah, they're like, well, I guess we have all your data here. You better pay us, or we're going to put it back. No, I think honestly, what it is they remove it, and then if you don't renew it, they're not going to keep looking for your data. Your data is going to naturally reappear on these websites as you continue your life. So
Right.
if you keep paying for that, they're going to keep going out, finding your data and removing it from the web, the dark web, from all these data brokers, things like that. So stalking, doxing, swatting, discrimination, physical harm, blackmail, extortion, spam emails, spam calls, digital redlining, all these things,
Yeah.
phishing, they're going to get rid of it all. That's what they claim. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. You can go to
right.
incogni.com.
All right. Sounds good. When two computers love each other, the theme for the show. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin. Let me find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. Have yourselves a great week. We'll see you next time.